Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Georgia Virtual College Fair this evening. We have a killer lineup of institutions that you get to hear from this evening. And I just have some quick housekeeping items before we get started. I know you're anxious. Make sure that you ask some questions in the Q&A feature, and I would give you the advice to put that college name in the question so that the college knows who you are directing your question to, and they can answer appropriately. This is a webinar, so that means that your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists can't see or hear you this evening, and that's why it's so important that you put those questions in the Q&A feature at the bottom. This is just the first or one of the evenings of the sessions. So there's tomorrow too. So I hope that you plan to sign up for more sessions because there'll be lots more opportunities tomorrow. And this is going to be recorded and you'll be able to watch it on demand within a week at that same website where you registered. So again, don't hesitate to put those questions in the Q&A feature. Make sure you list the college name on that question so they know who you are directing your question to. So without further ado, we are going to get started. We have a wonderful list of institutions for you to hear from tonight, and we're going to start with Tusculum University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Steve Schultz. I'm with Tusculum University, and we are Tennessee's oldest school. We've been around for 226 years as of last month. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, start my presentation here. We are up in Greenville, Tennessee, which isn't too far from northern Georgia. And like I said, we're the 28th oldest school in the country right now. Our website, tusculum.edu, right here at the bottom. Super easy to find everything you could possibly need. Our application, which is always free, by the way. Any financial aid information, contact information for all of our professors, our school catalog, everything you can imagine. Now, things that make us different, we are what's called a civic and liberal arts university. And what that means is, yes, we have our liberal arts education. So we have over 50 different majors and minors, plus a whole bunch of ways to concentrate those majors and even a build your own major program. But we also focus on civic arts, which is establishing yourself as a positive member of your community. So last year, we had over 69,000 community service hours with our students. Now, that's all the more impressive because we only have 1,400 students on our campus. So our students are required to do 16 hours a year. They actually averaged almost 3 times that amount last year. It's pretty easy to do, and every single club and organization has their own efforts that they put forth. We also take a day off every year, faculty, staff, and students, and we all do community service together throughout the community. We call it Netty Day. It's a fun old tradition at Tusculum. We are up in Greenville, Tennessee, which if you're not familiar with where that is, we are up in the mountains, in between the Smoky Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're halfway in between Johnson City and Pigeon Forge. So if you're familiar with where Dollywood is, we're not too far away. And we're about an hour north of Asheville, North Carolina. So there's plenty to do around us. And then our town is a classic old town with everything you'd expect from a middle-sized city. But it's our campus is gorgeous. I'll show you a little bit more of that later. We are, as of this past year, named the 12th best bang for your buck of every school in the country. And they get that number basing it off of our average cost of attendance, as well as our average starting salary of our graduates, which is actually one of the best numbers in the state of Tennessee last year. Every single one of our traditional students gets some form of financial aid, whether that's an academic merit scholarship, which can go between $5,000 and $15,000, or if you live in the Appalachian region, you get an additional $1,000. We accept federal and Tennessee state money as well. All kinds of financial aid opportunities available to you. We are, even though we are a small private school, we are a very diverse school. We have students from 38 different states and 33 different countries. So you're going to meet people from all over the world on our tiny little campus. It's hard to not get to know people from everywhere when you get to Tusculum. We're one of the smallest schools in the NCAA. We are NCAA Division II, meaning we can offer athletic scholarships as well as scholarships for cheerleading and band. I'm not allowed to touch those though. So if you have any questions, you can go on our website, find our athletics department, ask coaches anything you might want about how you get recruited, things like that. In addition to all of that, Like I said, we have over 50 different majors and minors. Now here it says our total enrollment is 1,720. That does include all of our graduate school programs. So we do offer master's degree programs and a number of different programs like sports management, business, nursing, education, human resources, things like that. We're also about to start offering our first doctorate program. So we will be one of the smallest schools in the country with up to 3 doctorate programs at Tusculum. These are all of our majors and minors. It's everything you would expect out of a liberal arts university: pre-med, pre-law, biology, mathematics, environmental science, environmental study. And we have a few different ones like mathematics or museum studies. You can major in museum studies at Tusculum. We're one of, I think, only about 10 schools in the country that now has that. We also have a coaching concentration. So we have all kinds of different programs available to you. Plus, we also have our independent program of study, which means if you don't see your major on this list, we can create it out of the majors that we do have and the classes that we do offer. For example, social justice has been a big one this year for our students. And we actually have several students pursuing a social justice major. So you don't see it named, but we can absolutely create it from what we have. In addition to all of that, we do require internships as part of our program, and you can start those your sophomore year, so you can have up to 3 years work experience. And you can see these internships are all over the country. We encourage you to do them in the summer while you're not in school and taking class, and we will find those for you if you can't find them. And that includes all of your nursing work as well, your tech work for nursing. We will find those placements for you. Same with student teaching. We'll find those placements for you as well. And this is just a little bit about where our students went off to work after they left Tusculum. Now, we are one of the top schools in the entire Southeast for career placement. Over 90% of our graduates have a full-time career within 10 years of graduating. And that's a big deal for us. We will follow you wherever you go, whether your major's in business or education or chemistry, as you can see here on the screen. We're going to make sure that we follow you wherever you go to make you the most successful you that you can be. That includes our poetry majors. The 2019 National Book of the Year for Poetry was a Tusculum graduate. So we helped him find the grad school he needed to go to, and we helped push his book and get his book published. So we will make sure that whatever it is that you want to do, we will try and make you as successful as possible. Now, what you see here on the screen, I'm going to play the video of our campus tour here. That's what our campus looks like. It is beautiful. We're in the mountains and the foothills. Lots of hiking and kayaking and camping for our students on the weekends. It's a beautiful place to be from. And what you see here on the right-hand side of your screen is all of our contact information. So you can email me at admission@tusculum.edu. That's how long I've been there. That's my email address now. And you can go on our website and you can schedule an in-person tour or even a virtual tour. But once again, let me just remind you that our application is completely free, and you are welcome to apply anytime between now and the month our classes start. So we have rolling admissions, so you have plenty of time. I believe it looks like that's the end of my time. So I hope you all really enjoyed tonight. Listen up to everybody and have yourselves a great night.
Steve, thank you so much to you and Tusculum University. Next up, you get to hear from the University of Arkansas.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Garland, and I'm the admissions counselor for the University of Arkansas. So glad to get to share a little bit about our university with you today. So we are a nationally competitive student-centered research university located in the northwest corner of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So just a direct flight from the Atlanta airport, or you can take a nice road trip over to Arkansas. But it's well worth the drive or the trip to come into your college experience in Fayetteville. If you didn't know, we are the #4 place to live in the entire United States. So that's something that we're really proud of. We're really proud of the area in which we're located. There's a lot of reasons we're rated #4. You know, it is a quintessential college town with a historic downtown square within walking distance from campus. It actually runs right through our campus. Lots of great restaurants and shopping and anything that you might be looking for in that type of town. But we're also rated #4 because of all of the opportunities that are available in the area. So a teeny tiny little company called Walmart was started over in Bentonville, Arkansas. Now, Bentonville is about 45 minutes from our campus. and they actually require that every single retailer they work with have an office in the Northwest Arkansas area. So that's anything you see on their shelves, Nestle, Hershey, Kraft, Coca-Cola, you name it, there's an office in the area. So what that's going to mean for you as a student is that within an hour's drive of campus, there are over 325 Fortune 500 companies and over 4,000 businesses. Plenty of opportunities for experiential learning with those businesses and companies, whether it's an internship, job shadowing, networking events. They even come to our campus and host job fairs. There's only one city in the world that beats our density of Fortune 500 companies. That city is New York City. So for you to be able to be in the middle of the Ozark Mountains and have the same types of opportunities you could have in the Big Apple, I think is one of the most unique things about our university. And as I said, we are in the middle of the Ozark Mountains. So we're actually in the top 25 outdoor colleges in the United States, which you can see there. We're about an hour from the Buffalo National River, but Devil's Den State Park is right near our campus, Beaver Lake. There's hundreds of miles of biking and hiking trails in the area. So we would really encourage you to do that. Arkansas is, after all, the natural state. So if you're interested in doing things like that, it's definitely available to you. Now, while we love the city, there's obviously a lot going on our campus as well. So we do have over 400 registered student organizations that ranges from anything, from pre-professional societies, political, religious, cultural organizations. A couple of my favorites, there's the I Heart Dr. Pepper Club, and then the Tour de Nugget. Now, the Tour de Nugget is an organization that a student started, and students will essentially carpool around town to all the different restaurants that serve chicken nuggets, and then rank them bracket style to determine who serves the best chicken nuggets in the area. So you can get really creative with the types of things you're getting involved in. We do have 200 academic programs as well. About 100 of those are undergraduate majors that you can choose from. I'll highlight a couple of those. So our Walton College of Business is in the top 30 business programs in the country, standing that we've been in for over 2 decades. We have a nationally ranked College of Engineering that has 11 different disciplines of engineering. We do offer a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and they do have a 100% job placement rate after graduation. And then another really popular one is our 5-year architecture program. It's been nationally recognized many times, so that's a big draw for students as well. Now, while we are a large university, we do maintain an 18-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We try to keep those class sizes as small as possible. Most of our classes enroll no more than 30 students, so that's what you can expect for most of your classes on our campus. But as I mentioned, we are a large university, so we have about 28,000 students on our campus. That does include our graduate school. So when you're looking at undergraduates, it's about 22,000. Freshman classes are right around 4,800. And we are a D1 SEC school, as you can see there, a picture of our beloved Razorbacks. It's definitely a big part of our culture to come out in our red and white and call the Hogs, especially now that we're winning a few football games. So we're excited about that. But as a student, you would get to take part in an all-inclusive student athletic pass. Gets you in every single game for every sport for the entire year, and it's more affordable than 2 football tickets. So that's something you'll definitely want to take advantage of as well. Now, in addition to the opportunities that are on our campus, they can take you pretty far. So we are in the top 5 study abroad programs in the country. We have 1,300 programs in 57 different countries. We have our own international campus, the University of Arkansas in Rome. So it really is choose your own adventure. You can go anywhere except for Antarctica to have an international educational experience. Now, I want to make sure you all are aware this is brand new for the state of Georgia. We just added you guys to this award. It's called the Non-Resident Tuition Award, or the NRTA. Now, this is going to be a discount off of that additional portion of out-of-state tuition, up to 90% off, which is a $15,000 a year award. There is no application to this. We're automatically going to give it to you if you meet the certain qualifications. For fall 2021 applicants, this award is solely based on your GPA, as you can see in those descriptions. If you are a junior or maybe a little younger, there will be a matching test score requirement for this, but please keep this in mind. I know it can be intimidating to go out of state, but we do want to try to make it as affordable as possible. And this is a really unique scholarship opportunity that not a lot of schools will offer. So that's my contact information. Please go ahead and feel free to jot that down. If you are a senior, our priority application deadline is coming up November 15th with a priority scholarship deadline of December 1st. We're open for tours both on campus and virtually. If you need anything along the way, let me know. I hope you have a great night, and go Hogs.
Thanks so much, Megan, to you and the University of Arkansas. That Chicken Nugget Club gets me every time. Next up, you guys get to hear from University College Dublin, and don't forget to put those questions in the Q&A.
All right. Well, hello everyone. My name is Kendall Hook. I'm with the University College Dublin. So I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm here in the US, but we're throwing it across the pond to Ireland. You may not have ever considered going abroad before for your degree until maybe now. So why might you choose Ireland? Why go to Dublin? Well, I don't know if you have been yourself or if you have friends or family who have gone. But I can attest to the fact that it's so safe, friendly, and welcoming. It is often ranked in the top 10 to 12 safest countries in the world according to the Global Peace Index, as well as often ranked one of the world's friendliest countries. It is a small country. The entire country of Ireland is smaller than the state of Georgia. But for being such a small country, it is very globally connected and a multicultural society. And that's in part because Dublin is one of Europe's headquarter capitals. So you have companies like Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Airbnb, etc. They are bringing in people from all over the world, including all of the international students we have in Dublin as well. Dublin itself is often ranked in the top 10 best student cities in the world as well. And I think that's in part because Dublin, half of Dublin's population is under the age of 36. So there's plenty to do, a great student scene, but the size of Dublin is not overwhelming. It has great public transportation and it's easy to navigate. But most importantly, you are there for school, and all of Ireland's schools are ranked in the top 1 to 2% of universities worldwide. So UCD was founded in 1854. We are one of Ireland's oldest universities, but for being an old university, we do have a modern campus. So we were moved to our Belfield campus, which is just 2.5 miles south of Dublin City Centre. And it was built from the 60s onward. So we have really great modern amenities. As I mentioned, we're only about 2.5 miles south of Dublin City Centre. So you don't even have to leave campus to jump on a bus and get into the action. We are the largest and most international university in Ireland as well. We have about 30,000 students, 17,000 of which are undergrad, and about 30% of those are international. So all in all, between our student population and our campus environment, I would say that UCD feels very similar to a large public research institution here in the US. And we have a wide range of degree options that I will touch on as well. We have a lot of amenities that US students are typically used to. So you will be familiar with those like US campuses here in the States. So we have academic libraries for different disciplines. We have academic support services for students, student support services like career counseling and mental health and well-being. But we also have a student life center, and that is where our 130 student clubs and organizations gather, and that is the hub of activity. So our student life center is a really great facility with like pharmacy, dining, 3D movie theater, lecture halls, debate chambers, etc. So we do have those student clubs and organizations. That's where you find your fast friends, and we do have competitive collegiate sports as well. Looks a little different. You know, we have soccer and rugby that are the most competitive, but we do have sports as well. All of our international students are guaranteed housing on campus the first year, which is pretty unusual for a European university, actually. So we have about 3,000 students that live on campus, about 50% international, 50% Irish. So you get a good mix of living with students from all over the world. It does feel more like an apartment on campus. So you get the benefit of having your own private bedroom and sharing common facilities with a smaller group of students. I mentioned it earlier, but we do have 7,000 international students from over 140 countries on campus. That is pretty huge. Typically, US universities have 10% international students or fewer. We also have 40% of our faculty coming from outside of Ireland as well. You may feel like you're the only person coming from your school, but of our international student population, we have about 2,000 US students on campus every year. We have over 70 undergrad degree programs that range between 3 to 4 years, and this is an overarching list, or a list of the overarching subjects that our disciplines fall into. We have what's called direct entry. So you apply directly to the program you want to study. So if you want to be an engineer, you never have to take another English general education requirement ever again. That's great if you know exactly what you want to do, but we do have a unique program called the Liberal Arts and Sciences program that does allow you a year of flexibility if you're unsure. So you can try out a couple different subjects and then ultimately decide what you want to continue pursuing at the end of your first year. There are 2 ways to apply, but I definitely want to give a shout out to the Common App. That is the easiest for you. That is how we get most of our US applicants. So you can check the box for UCD and apply to us that way. We actually do not have a holistic admissions process. We are academics only. So that includes test scores, GPAs, etc. We do have flexibility for 2021 entry. We do have programs that are not requiring testing, and then we have flexibility on timing for some programs that still are. You can apply to up to 4 programs as well, and we are rolling admissions. We do have a range of scholarships available just for international students that range anywhere between 10 to 100% tuition and fees. Those awards are academic merit-based, and about 80% of our international students receive some sort of monetary award. Ultimately, going abroad for your degree is typically less expensive than going out of state or to a private school here in the US. And importantly, we do accept US federal aid. This is a snapshot of where our students are coming from last year, but we have a wider range of states represented across all 4 years. And that's my contact information. You are welcome to email me. We have virtual tours set up that you can participate in, and I'm here for any questions.
Thank you so much, Kendall, to you and University College Dublin. Next, you guys have the opportunity to hear from the University of California, Irvine.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about UCI. I am fortunate to be part of the University of California system of campuses. So you see all 9 of us here on the screen. 6 of the 9 of us are ranked in the top 10 public schools in the country. So we're really well regarded academically. We are all research schools. So that means we're going to teach you how to critically think in your field. I've had the fortune of visiting all of our campuses, and they're all beautiful in their own unique way. They each have slightly different vibes, slightly different atmosphere. Location is a big factor. So UC Irvine location is pretty amazing. We are halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego, 10 minutes from Newport Beach, 15 minutes from Laguna Beach. So really kind of beautiful area. We are only about 20 minutes to Disneyland too. So students really take advantage of this atmosphere. When they want an internship, they don't have to go all the way to LA. We'll talk on that more in a moment. But it is good to know that it's 75 and sunny pretty much year round here. So we're really, really lucky for that. There's tons of outdoor opportunities as well. We want to make sure that students are really taking advantage of the world around them. And some of the ways that they can do that is by engaging in the kind of the atmosphere nearby. They can go skiing and snowboarding. So I know when you think of Southern California, you don't always think of snow, but we have some amazing boarding that's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours from our campus. So we literally have students who are boarding in the morning in their light zippy jackets and then having a beach bonfire on the beach with some of their friends that evening. One thing that makes UCI really unique in the UC system, but also I think for schools across the country, we are only 55 years young. So when they built our campus, they built it with today's modern infrastructure in mind, with today's modern kind of take on things in mind. And we really wanted to build a campus that was interdisciplinary at its core. So part of the way we reinforced this idea was to build our campus in a circle. So what you see here is a perfect 1-mile circle to all of your academic buildings. It takes about 20 minutes to walk from one side of that circle through the park to the other. All of our academic buildings are on this circle, along with our freshman residence halls. On the left-hand side, you'll see Middle Earth housing, named after Lord of the Rings characters, which is pretty fun. We also just built those 2 towers that you see there. Those opened this past fall. Mesa Court is down where you see those 2 little blue circle arrows. That's our other freshman hall. And over 80% of our freshman students live on campus. We guarantee housing in a normal year for the first 2 years so that we can accommodate lots of students in this very student-friendly, student-centered place. You'll notice our numbers there in terms of our size. We are a large school. We're a public school. We have a large undergraduate enrollment, but I think because of the campus design, it doesn't feel so large and overwhelming, and it can be really friendly as well. We have tables of different student clubs and different campus departments that set up tables along that outer ring road every day. So if there's a study abroad deadline coming up, they're handing out a flyer. If there's a student club that has an activity going on, or they want to raise some money, they're going to be selling Korean barbecue or boba tea to the students that are walking around on campus heading to their classes. The park in the middle of campus is just beautiful. 14 acres, over 11,000 trees. So those few cartoon trees really don't represent it well, but it has great infrastructure, great Wi-Fi. Students tend to study there. Also in a normal year, we have concerts and talent shows and different career fairs there. We have 4 career fairs throughout the year, and we sprinkle these all over the campus. So it's just this really great design. When you look at the graduate student enrollment, over half of those students are in our medical school, which is offsite. So as a tier 1 research school, we actually really rely on our undergraduates to help us with that research. And I mentioned our freshman class. Our freshman class is about 6,000 students and growing. We're really lucky to be one of the schools in the country that's growing right now. Noticing that circular approach, I want to shift to talk about our academics. When they built the campus, they wanted everything to be focused on the idea that nothing in our world is siloed, that it's all interconnected. And I think that's no more apparent than in our current modern time, where we see public health and social issues and politics all combining in one muddy space. And Irvine has been studying in that way for a long time. So when we bring our faculty onto campus, we expect them to teach in 2 different schools, or teach in one school and do research in another, or do a lot of interdisciplinary work. So the paths through the middle of the park are meant to make it easy for our faculty to get around. We don't expect our students to do that as well, but our students do. So you'll find at UCI that over half of our students double major or major and minor in 2 different schools. You'll see the full list of our 14 schools here. When we have created these really smaller academic units, so a school of biological science, it's really focused on our 10 biology majors. Our school of computer science, focused on our 7 computer science majors. So I think it's counterintuitive to say that it's interdisciplinary when these units are really, separate. What these separate units allow us to do is the faculty and the staff in each of these academic units are really experts at the career trajectories for their students. Many of these schools and many of our majors, over 150 majors and minors on our campus, do require you to do some sort of field work or internship or senior project. So we really want to make sure that you as a student have a good direction for who to go to for those internships, have good kind of knowledge of who to touch base with as well. I'm going to go from here just to talk a little bit about our application process, and before that, our diversity on our campus. We're a diverse campus. We like to bring in a diverse group of students and then support them throughout their time with us. We're the Anteaters, which is just really fun. And then finally, UCI will not be using SAT or ACT scores moving forward in our admissions process. We do have a great undergraduate program as well. The deadline is November 30th, though. Thank you for your time tonight. Thanks for enjoying this StriveScan setup, and I look forward to your questions in the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Andrea, to you and the University of California, Irvine. Wow, we've learned so many things about so many great institutions, and we still have a couple left to go. So next up, you're going to get to hear from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'll get my screen up there. Hi, everyone. My name is Brad Kloa, and I'm the Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at the University of Colorado Boulder. I work with all the students in the southeast of the U.S., so all of you there in Georgia. But I'm based actually in Nashville, so I'm not based in Boulder, but I get to work much closer to you all. Fun fact about us, you actually see on the bottom of the screen there, we have the moniker CU Boulder, not UC Boulder, actually because this is funny, having followed UC Irvine, we actually differentiate ourselves from the University of California system by adopting CU instead of UC in the 1950s, because a lot of our out-of-state students were coming from the state of California. So fun fact there. But to talk a little about who we are, I want to show you a quick picture of our campus, you really can't see an image of our campus without seeing the mountains. And so that is a big draw for our students. We are located in Boulder, Colorado, which is just about 30 miles north of Denver, if you've ever been out to Colorado, right there at the foothills of the Flatiron. So those mountains are just 15 minutes from our campus. In terms of size, we're about 35,000 total students. 29,000 of those are undergraduates. 42% of those students come from outside the state of Colorado. And as a great visual, everything that you basically see there with the red roof is our campus. And then the surrounding area is the Boulder community. And even though we are a large campus, we really want to stress that ability for students to have that faculty interaction. So we still have that student to faculty ratio of 18:1. Our students are doing great things in and out of the classroom. And so we're really proud of what they do in terms of research, in terms of social activism, of really being that positive change in the world. And it's why we have that recognition as one of the top 25 colleges for students who want to change the world. We're also very proud to be a part of the Boulder community. And so it's really great for students when they do come, especially from out of state, that you're not only welcomed on our campus, but also in the Boulder community as well. We're about a third of the size of the population of Boulder. So certainly a great college town, but by no means large, but no means small. We have a recognition as #1 college town in America. And also just this past year, US News and World Report named Boulder the #1 place in America to live. And then Denver, which I mentioned is just down the road, is #2 in the US. So you have the best of both worlds and a great opportunity to really engage in a lot of different activities in a very eclectic community in Boulder and in Denver. In terms of academics, we have 7 different colleges, schools, and programs that students can graduate from, over 100 different majors within these colleges. When you apply, you do have the opportunity to apply directly to one of these colleges if you know what that major is. But if you're not sure what that major is, we also have an 8th program. It's our program in exploratory studies. You can't graduate from that program, but the sole purpose of that program is to help you find your pathway that's that perfect fit in one of these 7 colleges, schools, and programs. Our College of Arts and Sciences is our largest college. 66% of our students have a major in the College of Arts and Sciences, and also those students are on a pre-med track, pre-law, pre-health, or any of those professional programs after their undergraduate career typically have that major in the College of Arts and Sciences. And very proud of our College of Engineering and our Lead School of Business, both which are top 20 programs in the US, but that doesn't diminish the accomplishments of the 4 at the bottom of that screen. All of these programs across our university will emphasize hands-on experiences and really connecting you to what's new and happening in your future career field. Students are very active, obviously, outside the classroom too, taking advantage of all the things that a large university has to offer, and certainly the state of Colorado, whether that's activities outside, giving back in volunteer organizations. We are a Tier 1 research institution, and our undergraduate research opportunities program connects undergraduate students to staff and faculty who are doing research in their area of interest. And hopefully when the world opens back up to us, students can take advantage of over 400 different study abroad programs in 65 different countries. And again, a great picture of the outdoor landscape. Again, a big draw for students to come to us. A lot of ways that students can take advantage of that, whether that's hiking in Chautauqua Park and up there into the Flatirons, taking advantage of outstanding rock climbing right there in Boulder, but also in the state of Colorado, seeing a concert on Fair and Field, or maybe practicing with the marching band there on Fair and Field, and of course, skiing and snowboarding, which you have access to some of the best ski resorts in the world, just a couple hours from campus, Breckenridge Vale, Aspen, but also closer. Eldora Mountain is just 40 minutes from campus, which gives our students a really great opportunity to ski and snowboard and get a couple runs in, even late afternoon after classes are over. Now let's talk about how you can really come and take advantage of all that and that application process. This is just a quick snapshot of what is required as students apply to the University of Colorado. In terms of the application, we are only on the Common App, so you can only apply to us as a first-year student through the Common App, and all those other elements will be what is required to apply. I will call out there, though, the SAT and ACT scores, you do see it noted as optional. So like many schools across the country, due to COVID, we have gone to test optional for students for fall of 2021. And our theme for that really is when in doubt, apply without. So if you're not sure if you're want to submit a test score or will be able to test, go ahead and submit without. It won't impact you negatively in the admission process whatsoever. Really important deadlines here, November 15th. So coming up pretty quickly here is our early action deadline. So all those materials on the front have to be received by that date to qualify early action. If not, January 15th is our regular decision deadline. No real difference between those. Both are non-binding. The biggest difference is when you hear back. If you qualify for early action, you hear back on or before February 1st. If it's January 15th, it's on or before April 1st. So really encourage you, if you're still thinking about applying, get that done in the next week or so. And then finally, to learn a lot more about us, in lieu of being able to visit campus, I encourage you to check out colorado.edu/visit to see all our virtual opportunities, whether that's sitting on a sample lecture, going to have a one-on-one appointment with our student ambassadors, live interactive virtual tours as well. That list keeps getting added to every Monday. And finally, my contact information. So if you have any other questions that you don't get answered tonight, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Brad, to you and the University of Colorado Boulder. Last call to put those questions in the Q&A feature at the bottom. Our final presentation tonight will be from the University of Tennessee.
Great, thank you. Let me get my screen share real quick. All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Richard Spencer. I am the Assistant Director of Freshman Recruitment at the University of Tennessee. I'm very excited to be with you all tonight. I am a Tennessee alum myself, and I'm actually based in Austin, Texas, primarily working with our Texas students, but such is the virtual world. Happy to help out in Georgia tonight and be with you all this evening. So let's get started. A little quick overview from the University of Tennessee. We are the flagship institution for the state of Tennessee. Much like our friends down the road at Tusculum, we were actually also founded in 1794, so been around for a while. We are the primary research level 1 institution in the state of Tennessee. We are both the flagship and the land grant institution. So we've sort of run the gauntlet on what we're known for and what we have available to our students from an academic perspective. We do have 24,000 undergraduate students and roughly 30,000 total students with our graduate population. But even with that in mind, we do maintain a 17-to-1 student-teacher ratio, with the majority of our classes being under 30 students. So we do offer that big school atmosphere, but we try to keep our day-to-day operations at a relatively small level. From the academic perspective, as I mentioned before, we have a wide variety of things available to you on campus. We have about 185 different undergraduate degree programs, over 360 total degree programs. We are most known for our College of Business and our College of Engineering. That tends to be a big draw for our out-of-state students specifically, whether it's supply chain management, nuclear engineering, material science. These are popular programs for our out-of-state population. Our College of Agriculture as well is really substantial, from food science to environmental science, as well as animal science in our vet school program. We also have a direct entry nursing program. So we do admit students directly into the nursing program from day one as an incoming freshman. In arts and sciences, things like forensic science from anthropology, neuroscience, some of our more unique standout programs on that regard as well. A little bit about Knoxville, Tennessee, not too far away from Atlanta, just about 4 hours up the road. Knoxville is the 3rd largest city in the state of Tennessee, behind Nashville and Memphis, really the heart of East Tennessee. We are an outdoorsy town. That's one of the things Knoxville is most known for. We are 45 minutes away from the most visited national park in the country, the Great Smoky Mountains. So it's awesome to have that right there in our backyard, while also having really a medium-sized city right next to campus as well. So about 350,000 people in the metro area, about 750,000 people total. So it's nice to have that city access right, as you can see in this bottom picture, right next to campus. But being on the Tennessee River and 45 minutes away from the Great Smoky Mountains provides ample outdoor opportunities: hiking, biking, rafting, caving, canoeing, skiing, snowboarding. All of that is within about an hour's drive of campus in Knoxville. Knoxville is also known as an artsy town, whether it's from our festivals that we have, live shows, music, concerts that are happening in downtown Knoxville. And here's an example of some of the companies that are headquartered in Knoxville as well, just to give you an idea of some internship opportunities or other business opportunities. I think most people are familiar with Regal Cinemas, or Discovery. If you ever watch HGTV, Food Network, they're headquartered in Knoxville. We're on the river and so many lakes nearby as well. So Mastercraft and Searay are in the area too. So just to kind of give you an example of what's available in Knoxville. From a student life perspective, being a big school, 24,000 students, of course, there's hundreds of organizations for you to get involved in. I tend to break student life down into 3 categories that we primarily see a lot of our students get involved in. Number 1, as I mentioned before, are outdoor opportunities. being so close to the mountains, our outdoor center on campus has so many resources available to you, all the equipment you could ever want to check out for any of those outdoor opportunities that you're trying to experience. Number two is from an athletic perspective. Of course, we are a Division I SEC athletic program. In fact, this weekend, we do have a football game with our friends to the west, Arkansas, who you heard from before. So we're excited about that game this weekend. But whether it's attending athletic events or participating in athletic events from your own, whether it's intramural sports, club sports, things like that, that tends to be a big draw as well. And then number three is community service and leadership and giving back. We are the only school in the country whose mascot is the volunteer. And so we really take that to heart. We build that into the culture at Tennessee. That is who we are. And so we pride ourselves in providing opportunities for students to get involved in the community, give back, and be involved with the people around you. That is the heart and soul of the University of Tennessee. We do encourage you, if you're interested in Tennessee, to become a volunteer in progress or a VIP. Real quick on the application front, we accept the application through our website or through the common application. We are also a test optional institution. And when we say optional, we mean that across the board for admissions, for scholarships, for all of our competitive programs as well. Test scores are no longer required. The application does take the self-reported academic records. So you're going to enter your grades online and we're going to recalculate that GPA based just on these core classes that you see listed right here. Real quick, a couple of examples of our out-of-state student scholarships, because I know I'm running low on time, but we do have guaranteed out-of-state awards for our high-achieving students, including test-optional out-of-state scholarships as well. And we do encourage you to visit as soon as you're available. We do have on-campus tours back up and running, or of course, virtual tours available through our visit website as well. But super excited to be here tonight. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the Q&A, or you're able to reach out to me directly. But thanks for having me.
Thanks so much to you and University of Tennessee. I'd now like to invite all of our panelists to turn back on their cameras. And Richard, if you could stop sharing your screen, I think that would be helpful to thank you. And I'd like to give everybody the opportunity to either share a fun fact about their institution, maybe it's a fun campus tradition, maybe it's a piece of advice that you'd like to share, or simply maybe it's something that you didn't have time to share during your presentation. So let's go in the order that you originally presented and that you originally presented in, and we'll start with Tusculum first.
All right, excellent. So our favorite tradition on campus is also one of the coolest things about our school. Our favorite tradition is something we call the Old Oak Festival. So like, as UT pointed out as well, we are a very old school. We've been in the same spot for 226 years. Our trees are also very old, and we actually have a festival 3 weeks before finals every year to celebrate how old our trees are, which is a lot more exciting than it sounds. The whole point of it is that it gives you a break right before finals to kind of relax and unwind. Also, it's a huge community event for all of East Tennessee. So it's also when all of our student organizations raise almost 80% of their funds for the entire year. And our professors are also in charge. So we're very small. You're looking at our average class size is about 10 students per class. So your professors are actually the ones going around grabbing people to come to your booth. And they get voted on for how well they do. So it's a fun tradition for us. And I think that's probably the most exciting time of the year for us.
Hey, how can you not celebrate trees? That's so
I know.
awesome. Next up, the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, so I can highlight a tradition as well. One of my favorite traditions on campus is something we call senior walk. So every single student who graduates from our university gets their name engraved on our sidewalk. So we actually have 200,000 names across our sidewalks on the main part of campus. They stretch over 5 miles. So it's pretty neat. Anytime you're walking around campus, if you look down, there's a really long legacy of former Razorbacks who have been a part of our university, dating all the way back to that first class in 1871. So yeah, it's a pretty neat tradition.
How fun to then come back and see your name, and yeah, that's just really exciting. Next, University College of Dublin.
Yeah, I have a fun fact actually. It relates to our crest right here, but also to the country as a whole. So when Ireland became a republic, they incorporated a harp on their flag, which we have on our crest now, but they actually had to flip it around and reverse it because Guinness actually trademarked the harp before Ireland became a country, or independent country. So fun fact.
It's like so fun. Awesome fact. Next up, University of California, Irvine.
Hi, everyone. My favorite thing about UCI is the passion that our students bring to everything they do, whether it's academics or otherwise. We currently hold 3 Guinness World Records, which is just kind of fun. One is the world's largest dodgeball game, world's largest capture the flag, and world's largest squirt gun fight. So we try to set a new one every year. This is an exception. We couldn't do it this year, but it's just a fun tradition that we like to attempt each year.
Hey, it sounds like your students are also really active, so that's awesome. Next up, the University of Colorado Boulder.
All right, for us, it would definitely be the running of Ralphie. Ralphie is our live Buffalo mascot, and before each football game and at halftime, she runs a loop around the football field. So pretty impressive, whether you like sports or not, to see a 1,300-pound animal also being trailed by our Ralphie handlers, which are the students that take care of her and also are considered D1 varsity athletes at the university. So fun fact there.
Love the school spirit. That's awesome. And finally, the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, I'll talk about our mascot as well. We have Smokey. I mentioned before, we are the Tennessee Volunteers. We're the only volunteer out there, but we do actually have a dog mascot, and he is the only blue tick coonhound mascot in the country as well. If I stop my video, you can see a picture of him right there. So he is beloved. We're on Smokey 10 right now. He was actually chosen by the student population during halftime of a game about 50 years ago, a while ago, during the halftime of the game. But yeah, we love Smokey here at Tennessee.
Gotta love dogs. They just make everything a little bit better. Well, I'm going to leave you guys with a quick piece of advice. You see all these professionals on the screen tonight, and their jobs are to help you. They want to help you. They want to answer your questions. There's no silly questions, and they've heard them all. So please don't trust College Confidential or rely on College Confidential or what your cousin's brother said about admissions requirements to a certain institution. Like ask the experts. They really want to help you. That's why they chose to go into the world of admissions, and please use them as you see fit. And lastly, I'd say enjoy your senior year. We know that this year has been so crazy. But seniors, you guys have been incredible, absolutely inspiring. 2020 has thrown just about everything at you, and you've continued to persevere. You've been flexible, you've worked hard. So celebrate these milestones, whether it be submitting applications, acceptances, and everything in between. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. As you close out, there'll be a quick 4-question survey, so we hope that you'll provide us with some feedback. Sign up for more sessions. There's a whole night tomorrow where you can hear from more institutions. And of course, this was recorded and will be available on demand within about a week. Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.